What's up, everybody? John Ebo here, and I got Crawler.
Hey, how's it
Come at
going?
me.
Crawler coming at you. You were getting ready to do my own catchphrase.
Yeah, I was
right?
stealing your intro, you know. And I got N64 Josh as well.
What is happening? I don't know. I don't have a catchphrase. I always just host.
You always host. Yep.
I'm just the host.
But yeah, it's the crew from the Nintendo Powercast, so make sure you check that out on all of your podcast listening devices. I also got a link for Josh's channel. We're doing these little Nintendo minutes, hopefully not going 20 minutes again like we did last time. But today we were talking about the Switch's life cycle and how it's still a child. It's still young, you know? We got a long time. I don't even know how to. All right, so this article from Nintendo Life, there's an interview or a Q&A session with the Nintendo president. I don't even want to pronounce his name because I have no idea how to do it. But it's saying it is now the 5th year since the launch of the Nintendo Switch, and total hardware sell-through has exceeded 90 million units. We recognize that the system is at the midpoint of its life cycle. So we're looking at 10 years. What do you think about that, Crawler?
That means that the Switch is getting the DS treatment, and we're gonna get a new Nintendo Switch Pro XL 2DS Lite.
You don't think the
Mini.
OLED's gonna last for 5 years?
Not with the same central processing unit that it has in the graphics card. No, we're gonna get a mid-cycle upgrade. We're at 90. They said plus 90 million units. I think the official
like 93,
92 or almost 93. They have the potential to give the PS2 a run for their money. If Switch Pro comes out with the true upgrade and can find a way to incorporate some stuff while making quality of life. There's so many household. Josh, how many Switches you have? 8 now? 9? 10?
Why you got to call me out like that, bro?
I mean, they just kind of appear out of nowhere. I got 3 now too, so like, just add up.
Yeah. Wait until you see the camera situation I have for Animal Crossing in the near future. You'll understand why I have so many.
The multi. Josh is gonna be able to do a 4-camera sitcom in his Animal Crossing house with the pro camera. But I mean, definitely gonna get me to double dip, if not do it again. I've stuck with my day one Switch from the day Mario Odyssey came out. That's when I got mine. It's served me well. I don't take it out of its stock very much. So I mean, the system itself hasn't gotten beat up too bad, but the prospect of a Pro is what has me the most excited. I'm tempted by an OLED. I had it pre-ordered. I ended up canceling it. I do eventually want to get my original Switch to my son to have it be his first system. But that's the thing. I have a few Xboxes. I think we've always had a few of the console as they come out, but like the Switch is the first one that's truly like, if you want to play Animal Crossing with somebody else in your family, or you want to play Splatoon or some of these other games, you have to buy multiple Switches, and it's been that perfect marrying of the hybrid and the home console that Nintendo has done so well with the DS is what, second, I think, in quote unquote all-time sales behind PlayStation.
It's like 150 million DS total, DS family, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, Nintendo, they're not going to abandon the Switch name even if the hardware does get an upgrade. It's going to be Switch Pro. They're not going to pull a Wii U situation, but I think they're definitely going to embrace it like they have the handhelds before.
Josh, this means that Mario Kart 9 probably won't come out for 5 years. So how are you feeling about that?
Well, here's the thing. A game like Mario Kart 9, we know would run on the current Switch beautifully because 8 runs so well, right? I think the only way this system stays at this with this chipset for another 5 years is if Nintendo keeps pumping out the games like they have for the first 5 years, but also gets more third parties on board with Nintendo Switch exclusives like Mario plus Rabbids, the way they got Star Fox into Starlink, and the
Monster Hunter is huge.
Monster Hunter, Cadence of Hyrule, right? Like
Shin Megami Tensei is exclusive.
it's gonna be, yeah, they're and I mean even like the Switch is a JRPG machine. I was just at Best Buy the other day just looking at stuff, and I was just like, I don't even recognize most of these games, but I'm sure they're selling, right? And so I see it going either two ways, either that way where Nintendo gets their IP into the hands of third parties and we continue to see games like that, or there is a full-on Switch 2 that says yes, it's backwards compatible with Switch 1 games, and it is a new system that I don't think Nintendo would make the mistake of going with the new Switch and then having games run poorly on the old one. I mean, they did it with the 3DS to the new 3DS, and really we saw multiple iterations of the DS through to the DS Lite to then the DSi, right? Like it happened multiple times. So it is in their history to do these kind of things. Even adding the expansion pack to the 64, like it's kind of weird how history can repeat itself. But being a single console company now, I just don't know that they don't want to have that situation where like Minecraft only ran on the new 3DS, or I think it was Fire
Xenoblade
Emblem
Definitive.
Yeah, I think that one might be. I think Definitive is an only.
That was a new 3DS
Yeah,
exclusive. Same with Super Nintendo games.
Super Nintendo games, but they had other games like Hyrule Warriors, and like I know for sure Hyrule Warriors ran poorly on the older systems, and I have a hard time thinking that they would bump up to a pro, unless we are in a time where like you can just they have the dynamic scaling, right? That is very much an option. So as long as that is there and implemented well, great. But to what extent are we going to see a game running at 1080p 60 docked on a Switch Pro or even 4K maybe, and then have that game run 720 30 on the Switch, or maybe even on the older Switches? I just don't know.
Yeah. And how much power can maybe be squeezed out of a brand new docking system where the powerhouse that is the powerhouse and the onboard chipset stays the same, and the chipset gets upgraded to up-res stuff, and so the new system, quote unquote, for how it progresses, the new games just become dock only. I don't know. That's dangerous too.
That's no longer Switch.
I mean, there are a couple. I know there's at least one game that is handheld only. That's it's an indie game.
Monster Hunter Stories.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know what happened there, but yeah.
Are you talking about Bouncy Bob?
No, not Bouncy Bob. No, I forget what it's called. It's from the makers of Guacamelee. Shattered, maybe, I don't know.
There's a number of them that are indie games that are handheld only, and
yeah, so
like you have to use a touchscreen for them.
Oh, I remember Josh tried to do a first look one time, and he queued it up, and he couldn't do anything docked.
No, couldn't do anything. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I think we always knew that Nintendo wanted this to be a 10-year life cycle for the Switch, and they also said at one point that they want every household to have multiple Switches, and it's starting to look like that. You know, I have 3 Switches. Crawler might get another one down the line, and Josh just has 100 or whatever in his room right there. But I would hands down, even if it comes out next year, I would buy I just bought the OLED. I will buy a Switch Pro if it comes out in a year. That's what I'm waiting for. I wanted to upgrade my day one Switch because it was feeling kind of old after 4.5 years.
And you got pretty white Joy-Cons too.
Yeah, I got the white Joy-Cons. They look pretty sick. And then I could just troll everybody online that I have multiple Switches. So it I mean, I think the Switch, if it's 10 years, it will outsell DS probably. I would think.
I think it will too. I think the only thing hurting sales at this point is the chip shortage.
Yeah,
I honestly think there
I've
would be
not seen
higher
an OLED.
numbers.
I have
Yeah,
not seen an OLED in the wild.
And
I mean, yeah.
I think next year's going to be a huge year for the Switch. It has Pokemon coming out in January. It has Breath of the Wild 2 coming out. It has Splatoon 3 coming out.
Bayonetta 3.
Bayonetta 3. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle, again.
That's happening here. It should be in stores here within a couple weeks, I think, right?
But,
they confirmed that today.
I mean, we've talked about this a lot, that next year could be 2017 Part 2. And it could be a record year for 5 years into the life cycle.
Yeah, demand.
Which I can't remember
is there. They just
cycle.
got to meet the supply. Like that's the problem right now.
Yeah, I can't remember a Nintendo console that has not, died down. I think the Wii died down after a couple of years.
Some were a failure to launch, like the Wii U.
Switch Switch almost sold 3/4, I think, as many units last quarter as the Wii U did lifetime. So yeah,
the Switch is healthy. Nintendo's healthy. They're just gonna milk it.
The other factor too, that was a factor with the Wii U that not a lot of people bring up, but the economy was definitely a factor as well.
Recession.
Right? And that recession hit right around the launch, and it wasn't on a lot of people's mind, to get out.
It had the marketing struggles. It had.
Yep.
There wasn't much at launch. There wasn't much selling that system.
No.
But the Switch is a different beast. And I don't know. We're getting to our limit, but
yep.
Do you think they could release supplementary console? Like you have the Switch going alongside of whatever's next.
So, are you talking like Game Boy Ultimate or something?
Yeah, anything maybe not a Switch 2, but I don't even know what they could do.
The N64 Mini.
Super Nintendo. Well, Super Nintendo was going well into the 64 life cycle, wasn't it?
Same with the NES.
Yeah. Is that what you're talking about, Johnny?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they could be alongside each other.
I mean, anymore, Ubisoft will make Just Dance for whatever. So, I mean, but anymore, Nintendo has always supported a handheld and a home console, and then this is where they put all their eggs in this basket, and it's been fruitful. But I don't know how you turn if you show the new hotness, people want to play the new hotness.
You have a super powerful home console only.
Yeah.
Get your 8K 120 FPS.
Nintendo's not in the business of selling a console at a loss like the other two companies are, right? Mm-hmm. They will sell us they say the Switch is 5 years old. I'm sorry, but this Switch is actually probably 9 years old or 8 years old, because the tech in this thing is not, it's dirt cheap so that they can make profits. I mean, and good on them. They're winning. The other factor is they have now pooled all of their resources for one system. And that was strategic, I believe, because had they not done that, and they had still the 3DS kept them afloat while the Wii U failed. With all of their resources pooled, and they're able, Nintendo, I believe, was ready to throw the entire Switch on their shoulders and not worry about third parties or indies or anything else, and put out enough games that would keep the consumers happy, unlike the Wii U. And they had to do that by saying, look, Pokemon is going to be on this system. The mainline Pokemon games, all the Mario games, all the Mario sports games, Mario Karts, everything, everything will be here so that we can hit everybody that's been a fan, whether it's handheld and they made the perfect system for that, because people that were we saw early numbers. I don't know if we've seen them since, but it was 50-50 on handheld versus docked. Right. So they knew their audience and they nailed the console.
Yeah. Pandemic has probably shifted those numbers a little bit more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's all I had. And at 15 minutes. Let us know in the comments what you want to see, the Switch do in the future. If you want to see a Switch Pro, if you want to see a brand new console that hits 8K, 120 FPS. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Talk to you all next time.